this country actually does in genuine prayers.
Interesting. And perhaps, Hesbon, as you respond to what has been mentioned, since we're talking about the economic challenges, can economic challenges, the ones that are facing Kenya, truly be resolved by political confrontation, mass action, as they call it?
Well, I think mass action doesn't solve economic problems. But I think mass action brings people to a position where they have to address those economic problems. And, you know, besides what the police, the commander of police in Nairobi is saying, I think the constitution is very clear and it's supreme, that you only need to inform the police. And I want to believe that because of, you know, the liberties that our constitution gives us, and the fact that the sovereign power of the people is either expressed directly or delegated, simply means that if the people we have given power to are not doing what we expect them to do, we need to encourage a culture of constructive dissent, and it begins with mass action. Look at it this way. I seriously identify with what Senate has talked about, that they have a plan. But you see, the Kenyans on the ground have not seen the effect of this government since it assumed office. And what makes the situation even a lot more interesting for them is that just a few months ago when they were campaigning, they made very lofty promises. They even disputed a lot of the international intervening variables that were affecting the economy back then. And they promised, you know, to address the common problems that affect, you know, the common mwananchi. Key among those promises was that they were not going to create positions for individuals. They were not going to create positions for Wadosi. Now, there are two things that come out here. So you realize that positions have been created. There's no mboga in any of those positions. Zero. Whether it is PS, CS, nominated MPs, and now we have 50 CSs. From 23 during President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime to 50 CSs. When you look at all those CSs and you ask yourself, if this is a regime that promises that they're not going to create positions for individuals, they're going to change the life of hustlers. And yet what they've done is that they've created positions, which is not a bad thing, because these are qualified Kenyans. But if they had done that, you know, against the backdrop of changing the lives of Kenyans, I don't think anyone would have a problem. But they've given Kenyans enough reason to believe that even if they have a plan, either that plan has not taken off, or that plan is not going to work, or that plan is not in the interest of hustlers. And I can tell you, the worry should not be what the police is saying or what the politicians are saying. And if you realize, politicians from this regime started talking tough, that we will deal with Raila once and for all. Then they started saying that we want them to have a peaceful demonstration. Then right now, they're begging President Uhuru Kenyatta to talk to his brother, meaning they know these are real issues. These are real issues, and I think for them the worry should be, and before we came on air, I think Senator was talking to us about the plans that they have. That is what all Kenyans want. All Kenyans want that the issues of the common mwananchi walking along the streets, the farmer in Migori where I come from, the milk farmers, you know, get to put food on their table, get to save, get to live a dignified lifestyle.
All right.
But the reality of the matter is this, that if there's going to be demonstrations, there are going to be two categories of people. And I think the regime is supposed to be worried about the hustlers that they promise so many things, who will come out and voice themselves and say, we were promised all this, but nothing has come to fruition. You know, for Azimio supporters, they have a reason to come out when their leaders told them that this is the direction we are going.
Okay.
But my fear is more of the people will be on the streets are hustlers who were promised heaven, but they are on the way to something other than heaven.
But if the government says give them time, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If they're given time, sometimes what you need, what you need as a government, if you need all that time has to be accompanied with some very proactive measures that reassures Kenyans that at least something is happening. And I don't think there's anything reassuring in the number of things that this regime has done, including the appointment of 50 CSs.
I think one sees what he or she wants to imagine to say. The plan is very much on course. The first thing, and David D has said this again and again,